50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town.
The age-old question, Infinity Ward versus Treyarch. Which one do you guys like better and why? Let me know down below in the comments section what your thoughts are on both studios. If you guys want, you can leave as much down below in the comments as you want. Like, write a whole entire essay, just write some paragraphs down there explaining your reason why you think the way you do, because I'm genuinely curious on what you guys' thoughts are on both studios. And this video here, it's going to be a pretty long one. It really is, because I'm going to try to break down as much things as I possibly can with both studios here. So hopefully you guys will all enjoy this video. And I gotta say, first off, we all have different opinions and viewpoints on this subject here. You know, you may disagree with my opinions, you may agree. It just comes down to like what we think, and we all think differently here. So hopefully you guys can respect my opinion. I can definitely respect yours, whatever it happens to be. So I've been playing Call of Duty since 2010, when Modern Warfare 2 was in its prime and Black Ops 1 was just about to come out. And honestly, just with this video, breaking down everything I can think of makes me appreciate both studios for what they bring into Call of Duty. Both Infinity Ward and Treyarch brought us amazing and, most importantly, fun Call of Duty games. They've innovated so much with their Call of Duties, and it's been pretty cool because of that. You know, they both have their own style and feeling to them. They're both different studios with their own unique and interesting ideas, which in turn makes the experience of their Call of Duty very fun and memorable. We all have our memories with their Call of Duties, you know, from Infinity Ward and Treyarch, and that's the best part. They brought us some nostalgia, they brought us memories, and I gotta say, both studios are good in their own rights. I don't hate one studio at all. I don't hate both, you know. I like both studios. It's just that today, I just want to break down, you know, their style and which one I prefer, because at the end of the day, they're both pretty good for what they are, but I just prefer one over the other. I really do appreciate both of them. I don't have hatred towards one or the other. They're both very good studios. They definitely are. They brought us some fantastic Call of Duty games, and they're the ones that brought us the games that we enjoy. Just have that in mind, guys. Treyarch and Infinity Ward have made Call of Duty games that you have enjoyed, and I appreciate both studios for what they do, because at the end of the day, they're bringing us some fun video games to play. So guys, let's just get started with this video. This is going to be a long one, so hopefully you guys will stick with me, and let's get started. So first off, we're going to be talking about the kill streaks, and I'm going to be going over different gameplay aspects and elements of each Call of Duty, because every COD has kill streaks, every COD has maps obviously, and weapons, the weapon balancing, the time to kill, and a whole lot more. I'm going to be discussing all of those things and just comparing them between Infinity Ward and Treyarch. So first off, we're going to be talking about the kill streaks, which studio does them better, and how are their styles, because they're definitely very different. So with Infinity Ward, with their kill streaks since Modern Warfare 2 and MW3 and Call of Duty Ghosts, they tend to be low-costing, powerful kill streaks. You know, thinking back to the Chopper Gunner back in MW2, 11 kill streak, definitely a monster. The Harriers at a 7 kill streak in MW2, also pretty good. AC-130, both in Modern Warfare 2 and MW3, you know, 11 to 12 kill streak, they're definitely very nice. And same with the Helo Pilot in Call of Duty Ghosts, 12 kill streak, which just decimates and lasts for a whole minute, which is very good. Even going to Infinite Warfare, the kill streaks really don't cost all that much, and they're, you know, pretty similar to the kill streak costs, you know, back in MW2, and they also can put in some work. The RC8, I believe, like at a 13, it's 1300 score or something like that. It's very good for what it is. And same with the Apex, it's the highest kill streak. It only costs 1500 score. So yeah, overall they keep their kill streaks very low for costs, but they're pretty good. However, I feel as though that the player is the kill streak, and dominates lobbies to go for those cam strikes, nukes, or Moabs, you know? There's many things in Infinity Ward Call of Duty games that helps out the player to go for that cam strike or that Moab. Thinking back to MW3 with Specialists, that gives you perks essentially, and if you hit a 7 kill streak, you get like every perk in the game, which helps you get that Moab and helps you, you know, get lots of kills, and that's what I definitely do like, and that's why I'm saying the player is the kill streak essentially. You know, same with Call of Duty Ghosts, having Specialists as well and having support as well, like having ballistic vests and the ammo crate, and having some ballistic vests in MW3 as well. It just makes me feel like I'm the kill streak, going for the Moab or for the chem strike, and that's what sets apart Infinity Ward from Treyarch. See, Infinity Ward has a variety with their kill streaks. They don't only have assault kill streaks, they have different types of kill streaks. They have assault kill streaks, which just kill the enemy, like the Pavlo or AC-130. Then they have support, like the ballistic vest, the ammo crate, the oracle, or what have you, that either help you specifically or your teammates. And then there's of course the specialist, which only helps you out to go for those kills and possibly the chem strike or Moab. So variety is key with Infinity Ward. They've always had that since MW3 and Ghost. However, with MW2 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, it's mostly just all about the assault kill streaks. But yeah, going for nukes are definitely pretty fun as well in those Call of Duties. With Treyarch, it feels as though that the streaks most definitely dominate more than the player, because there's really nothing that will help you specifically out to go for those, you know, higher kill streaks. And then plus, it doesn't really matter anyways, because there's no like a nuke you can call in Treyarch Call of Duty games, which sets apart, of course, from Infinity Ward. You know, here with Treyarch, they mainly have assault to kill streaks that actually can do some work, and they're just amazing. You know, thinking back to the Swarm in Black Ops 2, the Lodestar, the VTOL Warship, the Attack Dogs, and much more. They're just amazing, you know. And Black Ops 1 as well, so phenomenal. The Blackbird, the Chopper Gunner, like they just decimated in those Call of Duty games, and that's why I say the streaks dominate more than the player, because the streaks are so good in Treyarch Call of Duty games. The kill streaks make you feel like you're the absolute best player in that lobby. You know, getting multi-kills with the Swarm, getting multi-kills with the Chopper Gunner in Black Ops, and so on. It makes you feel good, and it makes you feel like you're just having so much fun. And that's why I say Black Ops and just Treyarch takes the cake for the kill streaks. But if you're looking for variety, it's Infinity Ward, obviously, because they have so much to either help you, the player, out to go for those Moabs, or of course dominate the enemies with the assault kill streaks like the Chopper Gunner or AC-130. So I say it comes down to personal preference, and both studios do a great job with their kill streaks. But as for pure fun and destruction, Treyarch is definitely the better one, I say. So next up, we're going to be talking about weapons and the weapon balancing and time to kill for both studios here. So with Treyarch, it feels like you can actually have gunfights with other players where you're taking shots, the enemy is taking shots, and it feels as though it's it takes a little bit more time to kill someone. You know, weapons tend to take 4 shots to kill in Treyarch, you know, from Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3. They're like 4-shot kill weapons and such with different fire rates. And yes, there's some very ridiculous weapons in Treyarch, from the Galil and FAMAS back in Black Ops, which are just 3-shotting, fast killing weapons and such. But for the most part, Treyarch likes to keep their weapons very similar and have a slower time to kill, and keep it very balanced. And because of that, I say it's easier to find those overpowered weapons, because if every gun has like the same shots to kill and they feel kind of normal and kind of weak, it's easier to find those very good weapons, like the Scar H in Black Ops 2 and the A94 in Black Ops 2 and the M8 in Black Ops 3, and so on and so forth. Hopefully you guys are getting what I'm saying here, because since the weapons are balanced, it's easier to find those OP weapons that stand out to the rest. I say progressively the time to kill has gotten slower over the years for Treyarch. Comparing the time to kill in Black Ops 1 to the Black Ops 3 time to kill, it's definitely a night and day difference, because you have lots of powerful guns in Black Ops 1 like the FAMAS and Galil just 3-shotting you and such, and then comparing to Black Ops 3, there's some powerful weapons, yes, but they're kind of weak compared to the weapons back in the original Black Ops and such. And having this slow time to kill in Treyarch games can make some of the weapons feel very weak and like it's a pea shooter and such, you know? Like having the weapons be very low on the damage and taking more shots can feel as though like the experience is not good at all, and you know, you can't challenge as many enemies and such. So I mean, it comes down to personal preference, but I say yeah, they did a great job with weapon balancing, and it's kind of balanced, and I say that it's okay here with Treyarch. So yeah, sometimes I can feel like Treyarch guns are just so bad, but other times yeah, they can be so good. And let's just talk about Infinity Ward right here. So with Infinity Ward, it feels like you get melted and have barely any time to react. It's all about who has their gun up first in Infinity Ward Call of Duty games, you know? It seems like every gun is good and has high damage. Take for example COD 4 and MW2. Those CODs had stopping power, which made most weapons a melt machine. Every weapon in MW2 felt viable because of stopping power. With that game, it feels like everything is really good to the point where everything feels overpowered, which essentially makes no weapon overpowered, if that makes sense to you guys. That's just what I think with the MW2 and COD 4. With MW3, they kind of definitely changed up the time to kill. Like MW3 weapons were pretty good, from the ACR, G36C, MP7, and much more. But people mainly use ACR and MP7, but the time to kill in MW3 was pretty fast. It's essentially MW2 weapons without stopping power. That's how MW3 time to kill felt. With the Call of Duty Ghosts, everything felt good because the guns killed you in 2 to 4 shots, but mainly 2 to 3, which is very insane. Ghost weapon balancing wasn't bad, I say, because of that. Because you can deal well with any gun in Ghost and pick up any gun from the floor and have a fast time to kill. Infinite Warfare changed up weapon balancing as a whole and drastically changed and decreased the time to kill from all of their other Call of Duty games. And overall, I say Infinite Warfare has a great weapon balancing, but for the majority of their Call of Duty games, they just tend to make their weapons feel very powerful, which in turns, like, you know, it makes really no gun overpowered. They just tend to have very powerful weapons in their Call of Duty games, which makes the time to kill very melty and fast, and it's kind of hard to react and actually have gunfights with other players. So I say both studios have a different idea of what weapon balancing is and how it should be. I say at the end of the day, it comes down to personal preference, whether or not if you like the fast time to kill that Infinity Ward usually provides, or the slow in the middle time to kill with Treyarch. But I say both studios do a great job of balancing their guns. I really do think that, even though there's been some ridiculous weapons that are in both studios, it's for the most part pretty good, and they have their own ideas and thoughts on what weapon balancing should be. Next up, let's speak about hit detection, because this is very important when it comes down to online gaming and how your experience is. So whether or not if your shots are hitting as you're shooting at the enemy, how fast are they registering, are your shots on point and such. And I say Infinity Ward has always done this better than Treyarch, and they will forever do this better, because it just feels like the hit detection is crisp and smooth, and when I shoot the enemy, the bullets connect and register faster in Infinity Ward Call of Duty games. I'm not sure what it is, but that's the way it feels, and for the most part, the general community does think this. Lots of people like the Infinity Ward hit detection better, and I like this. I really do. Like, the Call of Duty Ghost hit detection is the best hit detection of any Call of Duty game, I say. And because that game has so good hit detection, that's why the time to kill was so fast in Ghost, countering in the 2 to 3 shot kill weapons with the good hit detection. Yeah, that's why Ghost felt like a melt fest, and I say they've always done this better. Like, comparing the hit detection from Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2 or just any Treyarch game to Call of Duty Ghosts, there's a completely different experience right there. You'll notice it immediately using weapons against other players and hitting your shots. You'll see that hitting your shots, in my opinion at least, and registering is faster in Ghosts compared to Black Ops or any Treyarch game for that, in my opinion. So maybe at the end of the day it comes down to personal preference, but I don't know, it feels like Infinity Ward has better netcode and they just have better hit registration and such. And for Treyarch, it feels really weird. Like, I'm gonna show you guys all 2 clips right here, which if this was an Infinity Ward, I'm pretty sure I would have got those shots hit, and it just feels so weird with Treyarch. It definitely does. after showing you guys all those 2 clips, maybe you can understand where I'm coming from. I don't know if this happens to you a lot here in Treyarch games. It definitely does for me, and that's why it feels as though that the guns feel pretty weird in Treyarch games at times, and that's why with Infinity Ward the guns feel really good in gunfights, and getting kills feels more rewarding and consistent with Infinity Ward Call of Duty games. So guys, next up we're going to be talking about the maps, because maps are the most important thing with every COD. If we have bad maps, it's going to be a bad experience. You know, if we have good maps, it's going to be a very fun and good experience for that certain Call of Duty game. Both studios have different ideas with their maps, and they have a different unique style to each other as well. They're not like very similar in map design. Comparing like some of the MW2 maps to the Black Ops 2 maps, it's a night and day difference for sure. With Infinity Ward, with their maps, it feels like you're actually there and it's an actual place. They look realistic and they're pretty immersive. Like thinking back to some of the maps in MW2 and MW3 and just the Modern Warfare series as a whole, that whole entire time period is like essentially like now. Am I right? It's like not set in the future. It's not like a fake or fictional. It's actually real, and you can kind of connect with it, and that's why you feel kind of immersed with their maps with Infinity Ward. Infinity Ward has a wide variety of map sizes that are small, medium size, large, or very large. Like thinking back to the maps in MW2, like Fuel, which is a huge map, and then same with Derail, and then comparing those maps to say Scrapyard and Rust and Terminal, they're very unique. They have like lots of designs that are very complex, and I kind of like that about Infinity Ward. However, having like a complex design to their maps and not making it simple kind of makes their maps feel unpredictable, and doesn't have good flow to them. But yet again, some of their complex designed maps have actually worked out, and they were pretty good, and Infinity Ward has had some very good gems and some amazing maps like Favela, High Rise, Terminal, and much more. Overall, the Infinity Ward maps are pretty unique and different to each other. With Treyarch's style of map, it's definitely changed since Black Ops 1. With Black Ops 1, they had very realistic looking maps that you felt like you're actually there, and it was kind of, something that you knew that could be possible and it was real. But with Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, they kind of changed it up because those CODs were obviously in the future, and those maps, felt very bright and colorful and arcadey and such, and because of that, like, it's not a bad thing that they feel that way. It's just that that's their style that they've stuck with, essentially with the Black Ops series, and that's very different with Infinity Ward. So they tend to have small to mid-size and large maps. They're designed around that core 3 lanes, and they're not as complex as Infinity Ward maps. They're simple 3-lane maps that have consistent flow and constant action, and overall they're pretty well designed. Of course, there's been some atrocities like Turbine and Aftermath and Rupture and some other maps. Like every studio has their pretty garbage maps, but yeah, there's been some really fun ones and some iconic ones like Standoff and Raid and much more that have felt very good and very consistent and pretty awesome. But I see with Treyarch, it feels like they make maps that are either in the middle, they're good, half decent, or bad, but kind of tolerable if they're bad. Taking for example Jungle in Black Ops 1, it's a pretty big map but kind of fast paced, and for me at least it's in the middle and I don't mind it that much. In Black Ops 2, Yemen comes to mind, which is not a bad map but not a very good one. It's in the middle and at least playable. In Black Ops 3, I think of Redwood. It's a map people don't normally like, but I say it's a map in the middle that at least is more playable than, Stonehaven and a Downturn from Ghost and MW3 from Infinity Ward. With Treyarch, I say the maps are very fast paced, which I have nothing wrong with that, and they have good flow. Like you always have an idea of where enemies are going to be at because the maps are pretty similarly designed, and that's the thing with Treyarch. They always keep the same with that 3-lane design because that's the thing and that's their way with their maps. That's their style. And because of that, it feels very fast paced, and it kind of feels at times that I can't really fall back or get on a kill streak. With Infinity Ward, since their maps have a complex nature, It feels like I can actually fall back, I have time to breathe, and I have like more routes and such to go. And that's why I prefer Infinity Ward maps, you know? They've made some amazing maps that I just love more than Treyarch. Like, I love more Infinity Ward maps than Treyarch, and at the end of the day, it just comes down to personal preference and which studio you've had the most fun on with the maps, I guess. Next up, we're going to be talking about innovation and creativity, because this is a very huge part with every Call of Duty game. Whether or not if that studio brings new stuff and innovates to that Call of Duty game, because if they keep the same things in every COD, it's not going to feel new. They have to innovate, they have to take risks, and they have to change up their Call of Duties, but at the same time keeping them feel very similar and knowing that it's actually from Treyarch or from Infinity Ward. I say Infinity Ward has taken the most risks with all of their Call of Duty games and has brought us many new things, and they've just innovated so much. Like, I'm gonna name off so many things here which they brought us and has, you know, dramatically changed Call of Duty. And even though some of their risks and ideas didn't work, they were still things that were brand new. For example, with MW2, they brought us in customizable kill streaks, which we've never had in COD up until that point. Like back in COD 4 and What a War, we only had 3 kill streaks in those games. Both MW2, they brought us like so many kill streaks that we could choose from and select. Also, they brought us the tactical nuke, and then from the tactical nuke, they brought us the Moab, the Chem Strike, and the Deatomizer Strike, which have only been in Infinity Ward games, and I guess with Sledgehammer as well. They also innovated so much with Call of Duty Ghosts. With Call of Duty Ghosts, they brought us a brand new perk system, which we've never seen before. It was so different, and I say it definitely did work out. They also brought us a brand new UAV system. They just completely reworked the UAV system, and even though it wasn't popular and it didn't work out and the majority of the community did not like it, including myself, it was still innovation, something new that they tried to do, which I give props to them on that. They also brought in dynamic map events in Call of Duty Ghosts, where some maps had like earthquakes, or they had some destructible environments in some maps, which we've never seen in Call of Duty as well. They also brought in field orders too. They brought in leaning, which we've never seen in Call of Duty. I mean, it was like, I think in the PC versions of COD, but on console, leaning was never a core feature, which that was a new innovation from Infinity Ward and Call of Duty Ghosts. Also, there are some unique weapons that had integrated attachments, like the K7 having a suppressor, the Honey Badger having an integrated suppressor, and so on and so forth. Like, Call of Duty Ghosts is one of the most innovative Call of Duty games in my opinion. They've brought us so many things, they've taken like so many chances with Ghosts, and at the end of the day, even though if some of them didn't work, it's brand new innovation. Also, they brought us, support streaks in MW3, which we've never seen before. They brought us health bars in Infinite Warfare, the health bar above your head, which we've never seen before too. They brought us into space, for crying out loud. Even though people don't like that, it's still innovation that we haven't seen. Like, with some of the maps, you're literally next to the sun, or you're literally on the moon, which I know it's not Call of Duty to many people, but it's still a very huge risk that Infinity Ward took, and I give props to them. Even though if some of their ideas and some of their philosophies and whatever did not work out, I just give total props to Infinity Ward for trying something different, branching out of their norm, and that's why I say they've done the absolute best with this. As for Treyarch, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to like overpower Infinity Ward and such, but I'm just so passionate and I'm so like thankful with all the stuff that they've done with COD. Treyarch has brought us some pretty cool stuff too. They brought us the Pig 10 system in Black Ops 2, which is a complete change up from the normal creative class system what we're used to. They brought us the Score Streak system in Black Ops 2, which is completely a rework from the Kill Streak system. They brought us the Diamond Camo and Dark Matter, which beforehand it was only Gold Camo, and then they brought us Diamond in Black Ops 2, and then they brought us Dark Matter in Black Ops 3, which is above Diamond. They also brought us a Theater Mode, which has only been in Treyarch CODs, with the exception of Modern Warfare 3. Theater Mode is such a nice feature, and I just love that, and unfortunately it's not in any other CODs really, aside from MW3. They also brought us specialist characters in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, which, once more again, if you don't like them, at least it's innovation that we've never seen in Call of Duty. Also, they brought us, once more again, if you don't like this, it's still innovation. They brought us a brand new movement system with COD, wall running, thrusting and such. It's 3D movement that we've never seen with Call of Duty, which I give props to them on that. Aside from those major things, which yeah, they definitely took a lot of risks, completely changing the score stick system, reworking the creative class, and that's all good, but that just does not compete with Infinity Ward, like how much stuff that Infinity Ward has brought us and innovative with. Like I just mentioned a lot of things with Infinity Ward, and I just can't think of any other things with Treyarch, because with Treyarch, their style is just keeping their Call of Duty games very similar, not taking that many risks, because they want their CODs to feel very similar, and that that it's from Treyarch, because going from Black Ops 1 to Black Ops 2, it feels like it's from Treyarch. Going from Black Ops 2 to Black Ops 3, same story. It feels like it's from Treyarch. With Infinity Ward, with the many innovations and the many change-ups, it kind of makes each COD feel different, and that's what I like about Infinity Ward. Even though that kind of strays away from their, brand and their name and their CODs, that's what I like, and that's what keeps the Call of Duties fresh and new. At the end of the day, both studios brought us fantastic innovations with COD, but I just like how Infinity Ward has taken many risks, and even though if some of them didn't work, it's still brand new stuff that we haven't seen in Call of Duty, guys. So next up, let's talk about the very last thing here, which is just the feeling and fun of both studios here with their CODs. So with Infinity Ward Call of Duty games, with the Modern Warfare series, Call of Duty Ghosts, and kind of with Infinite Warfare, but not really. It's just more or less the Modern Warfare series and Call of Duty Ghosts. They provide realistic, grounded in reality gameplay that provides all types of play styles, and it feels more complex. And Infinity Ward takes risks to see what works out. Like the support and specialist strike packages back in MW3 is evidence of that. The nuke is evidence of that. The bigger and complex maps and Ghosts is evidence of that, and same with their other Call of Duty games. The space setting in Infinite Warfare is obviously evidence of that. With Treyarch, yeah, there's some risks, but not as many as I say with Infinity Ward, and that's why I say Infinity Ward is pretty unique in that aspect, and they just keep their CODs very unique to each other. Treyarch feels more arcadey, very fast-paced, and simplistic. Treyarch keeps their CODs similar and simple, which in turn doesn't take too many risks, which makes their CODs feel like they're made by Treyarch. Keeping the pick 10 system in their Call of Duty games are evident of that. Keeping the 3-lane fast-paced map designs are evident of that. Keeping theater mode is evident of that as well in their CODs. It just seems like Treyarch likes to keep their CODs simple, and they want to have very similar Call of Duty games, which at the end of the day isn't a bad thing. It just makes you more familiar with each COD that they come out with. So I say, guys, that's how each studio style is. That's pretty much what I think the studios are trying to do with their Call of Duty games, and I think I nailed it right there. I'm not sure what you guys think about that, but that's what I think about both studios' philosophies and ideas. But at the end of the day, with my personal preference, I do prefer Infinity Ward, because their games to me feel smoother than Treyarch. From the hit detection, the hit registration, the netcode, the games and gunfights feel a whole lot more consistent than Treyarch, in my opinion. I don't know, there's something about Infinity Ward gunfights and the way it plays. It feels a whole lot better and doesn't feel that clunky. But yet again, some of Treyarch games like Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 2, they didn't feel that clunky, but there's just that distinct feeling that it's an Infinity Ward game because of the amazing hit detection and so on and so forth. I also really do appreciate the risks and the innovation that Infinity Ward has with every Call of Duty game. That's why I like them so much. Their CODs feel very smooth. I just do a lot better in Infinity Ward Call of Duty games, and counting in the amazing maps, the nice innovation, the hit detection, that all just comes together and just feels like a phenomenal experience to me. With Treyarch, I don't mind Treyarch Call of Duty games at all. I like them. You know, I really do. I like Black Ops 3. It's my most played Call of Duty game. I'm pretty good at Black Ops 3. With Black Ops 2, I have a respectable KD and some okay stats in BO2. I can put up some numbers, drop some streaks and such. But I just don't feel like the same experience as I do with MW3, Ghost, or even Infinite Warfare. Like, those Call of Duty games feel a whole lot smoother. It's not like, oh, I like Infinity Ward only because I'm good with Infinity Ward games. I'm good with both studios. I'm not bad at Treyarch Call of Duty games. I'm not bad with one studio or the other. I can do work with both studios. It's just that, for me at least, with my experience, I just feel like it's more consistent. It feels better with Infinity Ward Call of Duty games. So guys, that's the whole entire video. Hopefully by the end of this, you'll know that both studios are completely different. They have their own style, and I say they're good in their own right, for sure. But I just prefer Infinity Ward Call of Duty games that have nothing wrong with Treyarch. I just like the good feeling that Infinity Ward provides. And let me know down below what your thoughts are on both studios, and if you guys made it throughout this whole entire video, then comment down below. I made it, Ghost. Just tell me that. I want to see how many of you guys comment that, because this is a very long video, and I thank you for sticking with me and listening to my thoughts on both studios here, because I'm just very passionate about Call of Duty. I've been playing it for nearly a decade now, which is very insane. I've essentially grew up with Call of Duty since like 10 years old, now being like 18. Like, I've played Call of Duty so much, and I really do love the game, and I'm very passionate about it. So hopefully some of you guys can feel the same way as I do. And with that said, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Your payload is standing by. Our payload inbound.